Well, good evening, all. I hope everybody had a great week. It's Tuesday night, election day for a lot of local races, and we got a pretty good crowd in already tonight. So, welcome everybody. Glad to have you in. I got quite a few emails and things this past week that we'll be chatting about tonight. And then also, we'll do some shout outs. We've had some questions come in early over in the live chat window. You're welcome to drop any question you may have over there, and we'll answer it if we can. And if we can't, we'll research it and find out. So, oh, hey, Richard Kirby's in. Richard's going to be the new owner of Rusty, the RV. And got a kind of a fun thing we're going to do with Richard over the next couple weeks. So stick around for that. And let's do some quick shout outs here while we wait for folks to come in. Brenda Phillips is in from Alabama. Hiya, Brenda. Great to have you in. Tom Downey is also in the chat tonight, and that's great. We're happy to have you, Tom. He has a question that we'll get to in a minute. Ray Castillo, John Besmick, and Chuck Fett from South Dakota. Hi, Chuck. Great to have you in tonight. Our friend Tim Myers is in as well. And Bob Davis. Bob, great to have you along. He's up in Humboldt County. So, gosh, that's great. And then Jim Bertrand. Jim, awesome. It's so fun to have you in tonight. And hi, Linda, Camp Goer 1. It is sure nice to see you in tonight. I sure hope your health is improving a little and things are getting along for you a little better than what you've had the last little while. It sucks to get old, that's for sure. Okay, so quick update. Last week I chatted about I was going to be looking at an auction pickup and an auction slide-in camper. It is, the camper was an S&S. I got pictures and stuff, but honestly, the condition of both were such that I don't think I'm going to bid on them. The bidding starts tomorrow. The pickup was a 2003 GMC Sierra with the Duramax, and I went to the inspection today. And the Duramax had two bad injectors. You could hear one ticking really badly. And a fellow there that was also looking at the truck had one of the meters, and he looked at the injector balance, and two of them were bad. The injectors on that are $2,500 just for the parts. And if you have somebody else do it, you're into it for $5,000. And the truck, there wasn't a body panel on it that didn't have some kind of damage, scratches or scrapes or dents or dings. And it was filthy dirty inside. And so I kind of set myself a number. I said, well, if I can get it for $7,500, I might get it. You could put 3,000 or 4,000 in it and still have some value there, but it's already above my number, and so I won't be doing the truck. The camper shell overall was in fair condition, but the roof was pretty rough. I was concerned that because the roof was rough, that there could be a lot of rot in the walls. I checked the one wall that looked like it had been hit and damaged, and it seemed like it was a little bit spongy. And I don't know. I mean, I've thought about, and spoke about doing a camper shell and doing a rehab on the camper shell, but I'm not interested in getting a camper shell that I have to do major repairs on. That's not what I'm looking for. As far as a rehab goes, I wouldn't mind going in and, replacing I'll say the microwave and the TV and maybe even the fridge and stuff like that. But, yeah, I don't want to be doing walls and that kind of stuff. We're not, that's not going to happen. That's more work than I want to get into. So I'm just going to keep scouting for truck and camper, either as a combo or as individual units, and see where we go from there. So there's an update on that. I did think I mentioned, well, maybe I didn't. Last week, my cousin called me. Uh, the long short story is my aunt and uncle have a 2007 Newmar Ventana 3331 on a Spartan chassis with the ISB Cummins engine in it, and it's got a Banks kit put on it too, which is nice. So that gives it an extra 50 horsepower. And we actually, they were in Arizona, or well, they wintered in Arizona. They're from Rexburg, which is north of me about 60, 65 miles. No, it's more than that, maybe 80 miles north. But my aunt and uncle wintered in Arizona, and they would use this motorhome basically to commute back and forth from Idaho to Arizona, and they do some side trips, but mostly it was just a commuting vehicle for them. And so it didn't get a lot of use. And then my uncle had a stroke, and then it got no use because there was nobody in Arizona that could drive it. They had family down there, but nobody wanted to try to drive it. And actually, it's only a 33-footer, so it wasn't that difficult to drive, to be honest with you. I actually ended up driving it back to Idaho from Tucson on April 1st in 2019. And it ran great. It's a great little rig. Well, we tried to sell it. I put together a video. This is back in I want to say 2017. You know, I'm losing all my brain cells. They're turning into gray hairs. So anyway, I drove it back up there. They tried to sell it. They actually ended up putting it in storage out at the farm. They're farmers. And kept it undercover, which is nice. And so I went up there on Friday and did a video. And I'll release that sales video with the brief tour and that tomorrow morning. I'll give you guys a sneak preview here in a little bit tonight, probably about half past. We'll take a quick minute and watch that sales tour video, if you will. If you're interested, you can contact me via email, and we can work out the details from there. So let's go back to the chat real quick. Linda's in Arizona, yep. And, Round Town Scouter's in from Columbus. Hope to be in Carlsbad, New Mexico by next week. Excellent. Carlsbad's a pretty cool place. Yeah, I think it's neat down there. I've spent a lot of time in New Mexico. Yeah, Linda, yes, it does. Sucks to get old. Jim Bertrand reporting that it's getting cool in Winnipeg. I'm not surprised. Going down to the mid-20s tonight, but mid-50s this weekend. Yeah, we had... It was really weird. I mean, we've had a lot of rain this last month. We had almost an inch of rain in October, which is kind of strange. It's not usual. And then it's supposed to rain and be nasty all weekend, but it actually turned out to be really nice. I actually played golf on Sunday. We just beat the rain that started Sunday, and we've had sprinkles and rain off and on for the last couple days here. But 30s at night, 40s and 50s during the day. I still have tomatoes. I still have tomato plants that haven't gotten bit. So let's see. Couple quick more shout outs. Scott Mungoch from Ontario, Canada. Never thought of compressed air versus antifreeze. Okay, so that's sort of comes back to a question that came up from Tim, and I think we'll go back to Tom's question first, and then we'll jump over to some of the email questions that came in. Tom had a question on how much slope do you need to provide in your sewer hose? And I think the easy answer is as much as possible. Those sewer slinkies, if you've seen them, they're those slinkies that they're sewer hose supports. I highly recommend those. And they're really fairly inexpensive. The last I heard, though, they were kind of hard to get a hold of. I haven't looked for a month or so, but yeah, they're kind of hard to get a hold of. A lot of stuff is sitting in containers off the coast of LA, I guess. But, excuse me. But anyway, pardon me. But anyway, about as much as you can get as practical. He says he has a 25-foot hose to the coach, the sewer opening. And 25 foot's not bad. At the RV park I wintered at in Tucson, I had to pull 30 feet of hose. It was really weird. There were several spots, and for whatever reason, the sewer line was on the, if you back into the spot, it was on the left side of the coach when you really wanted it on the right. So in that particular case, I would come down and then I ran under my coach and then over to the sewer dump. So just as much as you can get is practical is the best. Remember, you never want to set and leave your black tank open. You can park and leave your gray tank open as long as you're taking care of it properly in the interim, like you're doing the road scrub and those sorts of things, like you'll find in my how to stop your black tank smelling video on my YouTube channel. So you might want to check that out if you have any other questions. So Tim, since it's getting to be winter, he threw a question in, and I thought it was a great one, and let's talk about it for a little bit. Good time of the year to discuss winterization, compressed air and antifreeze, or just compressed air. Okay, so my take on that is compressed air and antifreeze. And here's why. If you were going to use only compressed air, inevitably there are going to be dips and sags in your water lines. Okay? They're not going to be perfectly pitched to drain one way or another. There's probably going to be a little dip in one. And that's where the water is going to accumulate. Even after you blow it out, there's going to be water that's going to be left in that line because you're never going to get all the water out. And it will eventually drain to those low spots and could freeze. Whereas the antifreeze totally fills the lines, displaces all the water, at least, dilutes the water with antifreeze. And so I think, for me personally, I've always just used antifreeze. I've been aware of the idea around the compressed air, but for the reasons I mentioned, the sags in hoses and those sorts of things, pipes I should call them, they're really hoses because it's mostly all PEX. And PEX, by the way, can take a lot of freezing before it busts. But you don't want to break water lines, that's for sure. So my take is that you could probably do air and antifreeze. I wouldn't do air alone for the reasons I mentioned. And if you're going to do the antifreeze, you might as well just skip the air and put the antifreeze in and be done with it. So that's my take on it. I'm open to other suggestions and comments, which we will read when we get to the down in the list here a little bit. So I'd mentioned last week briefly that Richard Kirby is the fellow that is going to be purchasing or has purchased Rusty, the RV. And he's currently in Germany. And when they get here, it's like a 6-month lag before their house gets here. So they'll pack up and ship their house, and then eventually it gets here. But it's like 6 months. And so we need to outfit his RV with everything you could need in an RV. All right? We're talking everything from sheets and towels and silverware and all those sorts of things. Well, let me jump over here real quick, and I'll share with you the list that we sort of have going. Let's see here if I can find it real quick. I thought I had it open. Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? Okay. And I think we should be able to, hopefully this will work correctly tonight. And hopefully everybody can see this list that we've got here. And so what I'd like to ask of the audience is to help us out. Did we miss anything? Is there stuff that you carry that you just can't get by without that's not on the list? Leave a comment, and we're going to try to build a really good list of stuff for Rich to get before he gets here and picks Rusty up. So he's got listed here a dog monitor. So it went away from the coach, it will notify loss electrical temp change. And yeah, that's a good idea. I know several manufacturers that make those. And in fact, that reminds me I was going to make a recommendation on that, and so I will get you a link on that. A picnic table cover, first aid kit, disposable gloves, 25-foot extension cord, dog bones, 30 to 50 amp converters, 15 to 50. The 15 to 50 you probably won't use much, but they're nice to have. And actually, you could get a 15 to 30. I don't believe you can get a 15 to 50, but I think you can get a 15 to 30 and then do a 30 to 50. I could be wrong on that, but I don't think 15 to 50 is a common dog bone. And what we're calling dog bones are those adapters that adapt your RV's cable to a different power system, like 30 amp in some RV parks. A pressure regulator for the water connection, Y connector water hose, a 0G water hose, a sewer support, leveling blocks, chocks, sheets, pillowcases, pillows, blankets, silverware, pots and pans, air fryer, coffee maker, dishes, regular water hose, Teflon tape, electrical tape, towels, dish towels, and hand tools, many of which he is going to be bringing from Germany with him. So what did we miss? Let me slip over here to the chat. And if you think we missed anything, throw it over there in the chat window, and I'll add it to the list. And then we're going to go and take a look at a question that came in from another viewer, one that we had been working with on a problem a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and then we got together offline and exchanged some emails, and we got it solved. But so let's go over here and sort of check on the list of questions and comments that come in. Oh, by the way, I have some exciting news. We've talked a lot about AC, and Dometic just released a true 12-volt air conditioner, and it pulls 55 amps of 12-volt power on economy mode. That's still a lot. I still think it's kind of impractical to do AC on solar and batteries, but they're getting there. So fingers crossed. Okay, let's see. Get back over here. Okay, Mick the dog says he'd love a 34 foot diesel. And yeah, this is a great rig. You know, it's been sitting in storage for a couple years, so it's going to need some service work. You know, it's going to need oil and filters and all that kind of stuff. The rear tires are 2012 date coded, so they're going to need to be replaced. It'd been sitting in storage, so the house batteries are going to need to be replaced. There's a few things like that, but we'll chat more about that when we watch the video here in a bit. Mick the dog says it's been 45 degrees during the day there at Fort Wayne. Sunny but cool. Yeah, sunny but cool. It's that time of the year, isn't it? Oh, Campgoer 1, Dana Lynch reports or wants to know, do I have a video for replacing carpet or for a wood floor? Yes. So she says, or laminate or whatever. Okay, I have one where I did hardwood floors. And in fact, I'm going to be replacing the kitchen or the bedroom carpet in Rusty the RV with hardwood, and so I'll be doing a video on that. But I do have a video up there now, and it's on my channel, Dana. Just look on my RV how-to playlist, and you'll find it in there. It'll be back in around the 2018 era, so a couple years ago. But yes, I do have one as far as putting the laminate. I put solid wood floor, full thickness bamboo in my RV, and you should find it helpful. She says she's from Glen Rose, Texas, and loves my videos. Thank you so much, Dana. It's great to have you as a viewer and a participant in the chat, and thanks again. Campgoer 1 says that her daughter and her went to Abilene to a meetup the 21st to the 24th. It was great weather. After went to Flagstaff, it was 29, and we had our wool blankets and we're warm. Yeah. That's pretty funny. Yeah, I love Flagstaff, but man, it can get cold there fast. Jim Bertrand asks, what's my take on the 12-volt Everchill RV fridge freezer, 10.7 cubic foot versus the 120 fridge for an upgrade to the 3862 RV LP fridge? You know, Jim, I don't know a lot about those units. Our mutual friend Randy Waller put the GE in his rig, and if you're curious, I do have the part number for it, and he raved about it, says he loved it. I'll look into that Ever Chill and let you know. I don't have any first-hand experience, but I'll take a look at it, and I'll give you my 2 cents worth for free. Wink, wink. Yeah, Tom, the laying flat on the ground is okay. With your sewer hose, we're back to sewer hose and lengths and pitches. Uh, if you can, I would get one of those sewer hose support slinkies. They're super handy, and they're really, really inexpensive. They don't take a lot of space. But at a minimum, I would recommend that if it's laying flat on the ground, after you dump your tanks, then I would walk the hose back to the sewer dump and empty the water out of it. So there's going to be water that's going to lay in that hose that's not going to make it to the drain line. And so I would just take a moment and grab the hose and walk it, pick it up and walk it back and drain the water down to the sewer line. I wouldn't leave the water sitting in it, especially if you're in Texas, so you probably don't have to worry about freezing temps just yet. Okay, so Camp Goer 1 says she wants to get her carpet out too. Yeah, it was a good thing removing the carpet. Those carpets, especially if you're camping anywhere that's not like a paved parking lot or an RV park, you start to get out in the boondocks and you're tracking lots of dirt and dust and grime in and out of the rig, and they're really hard to keep clean. With the hardwood floor, sweep it, mop it every once in a while. Bing, bang, boom, you're good. Mick the Dog says, you stopped the black tank smelling video, worked great. Like a charm, by the way, thanks. You're very welcome. Yeah, it works awesome. Tim Myers, air and antifreeze is what I have done for the last 7 years. Just wondered if it was overkill. Well, it might not be. I mean, if you're comfortable doing it, it probably only takes a couple extra minutes to blow lines out with an air compressor. But yeah, I think with the dips and the lines and stuff like that, blowing them out is okay, but I don't know if I would completely depend on that, particularly if you're where it gets below 20 degrees. Yep, put antifreeze in the sink traps is a good point, Tom. And then also, if you're winterizing, don't forget to remove the glass bulb, what they call the glass bulb, which is that tube that covers your water filter. Don't forget to remove that and bypass it if you can. But at a minimum, once you get your system winterized, remove that water filter. Of course, you want to pull the filter out before you winterize and put the antifreeze in. But yeah, that glass bulb, I broke one of those that first time I winterized my rig because I forgot to take care of it properly. That's the way it works. Yes, Mick the Dog, good point. RV antifreeze, okay, not automotive antifreeze. First off, automotive antifreeze has gotten so expensive. I remember when a bottle of Prestone full strength was $6, and I was working on the truck I bought this past spring off the auction, and I had to get some antifreeze because I changed the antifreeze out in it, cycled it out. And geez, for premix was like $12 or $13 a jug for Prestone. I was surprised. Of course, I hadn't bought antifreeze for a long time, I have to admit. Tim, yeah, don't forget the adult beverages. So how many whiskeys does it take to winterize your RV? Let's find out. Round Town Scouter, what gauge extension cord? Did I miss a question here? Looks like there's a side talk going on here. I might have missed something. I'm not sure what you're talking about. If you're talking about extension cord for your main power, then what Tim said is correct. The same gauge as what your wires are. Up to about 20 feet. Okay? If you have a 50 amp service, a 50 amp coach, you probably have 8 gauge wire in your main cord. Well, you should have 8 gauge wire. And you would want to get an 8-gauge extension cord as well. So yeah, that's correct. Oh, Mary Stankowitz is in. Great. I got an email. That reminds me, I got an email from Mary with some pictures that I asked her if I could share, and she graciously said yes. So if you guys have pictures that you would like to share on the stream of your rig, your person, your face, your loved ones, your cats, your dogs, your chickens, whatever, send them over. and when I get my throat cleared out, then we'll share them with you. So let's slip over here real quick and we'll show you Mary's rig. There's looks like a look down in front past the kitchen. It looks like a really nice little rig. Yeah, kitchen shot there, really pretty there. Obviously, that's not Mary. That's Mrs. Mary. What's his name, Mary? Obviously, the husband. And then she captioned this one that they were having their 40th anniversary. So, congratulations on the 40th anniversary, guys. That's super. So, great to have you join and be a part of the chat this evening, Mary. Thank you so much. It was fun. And yeah, if you want to send me some pictures, trbolin@gmail.com is the place to go. And with your permission, I'll push them up and we'll share them with the audience when you send them. Okay, so I promised to show you real quick the tour of the 2007 3331 Newmar Ventana. And so let me get things flipped over here, and let's do that right now. And then we'll come back to questions and comments, okay? So this is a 2007 Newmar Ventana 3331, currently for sale in Rexburg, Idaho. It is a full paint coach with Bright Tech roof, fiberglass and steel framing, 2 slide outs. The chassis is a Spartan Mountain Master with a 300-force Cummins ISB engine in it. It does have the Banks kit on it, which will generate 350 horse. Let's take a look on the top here. The roof looks really good and clean. All the seals seem to be in pretty good shape. There's a couple hundred watts of solar there that could be easily replaced with newer panels to increase the capacity. It's got the Winegard tracker satellite antenna, 2 13,500 BTU air conditioning units. The slide toppers look to be in decent shape, as does the roof material itself. So let's take a look inside. Kitchen, there is a dual fuel Dometic fridge with freezer. Got a slide out pantry to the side of it, which gives you plenty of slide out space. Here's a double cabinet to the right of the pantry. One of the things about Newmar is they give you the cutouts from the sink, which makes it a really nice work surface. And also, it's nice to be able to cover up the sink if you have company over. And of course, there's under sink storage and cabinet storage to the right there. It's got your typical 3-burner stove with a convection microwave that's brand new. Lots of drawer space in the kitchen. Now we take a sneak peek in the living room here. You'll see there's under seat storage. It does have a built-in vacuum system. And there's the attachments and hoses for the vacuum system. That's a jackknife sofa. Taking a look at the electronics up here, you'll see the wind guard tracking system, a switching system for the coax, and then a DVD receiver. The cockpit, it has Atwood automatic level legs, Allison 6-speed transmission. It does have the diagnostic readout. Also, rear view camera and an upgraded sound system. Let's take a look at the bathroom here. You can see it's your typical sink, shower, toilet layout. But what's nice about this is the shower's enclosed, so it's not a wet bath. Has a really nice glass enclosure here. And by the way, the coach is super clean. Toilet storage, has a fantastic fan vent with automatic controls. Your typical Sealand RV toilet. Let's take a sneak peek in the bedroom here. That's a queen size bed. Lots of tall storage and also hanging storage. Stand storage. All the remotes for all the equipment are included. Here's the electrical control panels for the RV. And then if you look here, that's the solar control panel for the RV. Now we'll make our way back into the main cabin. It has trouble-free manual latches. The bedroom slide takes about 30 seconds to come in. The living room slide takes about 45 seconds to come in. Here's your control panel with your level indicators for your holding tanks, inverter control. I'll note this has been in storage. The house batteries are very low and will probably need to be replaced. The chassis batteries are in fine condition. We've adjusted the price to account for the maintenance that's going to be required to get this rig back on the road after being in storage for several years. If you're interested in this rig, the best way is to contact us at trbolin@gmail.com. That's TRBOWLIN@gmail.com. Drop an email, let us know your interest, we'll be in touch. Thanks for watching, we'll see you next time. So there you go. There's the 2007 Ventana Tour. And yeah, that's a really nice rig. Does need some maintenance. You know, there's some deferred maintenance, as they call it in the real estate business. But man, I think it would be a great coach. And if I was looking for a shorter RV, in fact, I actually have thought about purchasing it. But no, I think I'm going to go ahead and stick with the truck and camper. But yeah, if you're interested, or if you know somebody, share the video out with them. That video you saw will premiere tomorrow. Well, I don't know if I'll premiere it, but I'll post it tomorrow. And then put it on Facebook Marketplace and those sorts of things like I did for my rig. And we will go from there. So, thanks. Mary Stankiewicz, thank you so much for the love and the super chat. And yeah, great you guys had a super Maiden Voyage. That was their first voyage out in their rig. So, congratulations, and I hope you enjoy your future as a camper. I know I can't wait to get back on the road. In fact, I'm going to try to make it work so that I can get out of here for a month in January. Let's get our fingers crossed, and I think maybe I'll head south and get down into where I can get my bones, these old bones, warmed up. All right, let's flip over here back to the questions, and then we'll chat about Elaine Garcia's question. She's the one that had the battery draining problems with her system, and they got that figured out. So we'll chat with that in a minute. Alrighty, let's see here. Lights, I don't follow you, Camp Goer 1. Full pantry so they don't have to worry about it. 12-volt AC, yeah, it's coming. Hi, Autumn Fall, so nice to have you in tonight. Thank you. Tim Meyer says he was in Fort Wayne last weekend. Spent a week there one night. Oh, that's probably one of my favorite one-liners. Where's my rim shot? Mick the Dog says, well, Tim, I live here. Finds Friday, wife, and I headed south, deep south, southwest Florida till the end of May and can't wait. Yeah, Mick, you're going to become a snowbirder, huh? That's awesome. Get out of that cold country and get down to where you can warm up your bones. Linda Campgoer 1 asks, what do I think about the idea of building out an aluminum trailer, lightweight to pull behind my pickup truck? Yeah, you know, Linda, it's funny you would ask that because I have been considering that rather than doing like a slide-in camper, building or buying or maybe finding one that I can rehab, one of those that is lightweight that you can pull, that is, you know, sits way up off the ground, has tall tires on it, so you can get off road with it a little bit. You know, I'm not looking to get, you know, deep into the Utah backcountry. I want to be able to get over and park along a river somewhere and spend a couple days fishing, that kind of stuff. And, you know, 40-foot Class A doesn't facilitate itself to that kind of activity. It does in some cases, and I have my spots, right? My secret spots where I can, you know, take a large RV and enjoy it. But, yeah, so there's my thoughts on that. Stay tuned. You just never know what might come out of my head as I get further down the road here looking into what kind of a setup I'm going to get myself into. Before I forget, give me that thumbs up if you like the content. That helps me get Google's attention and gets it rated up a little bit so more people get to see it. Subscribe if you're not subscribed and ring the notification bell. Don't forget, I'm live on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Mountain Time for any kind of RV questions, comments. Well, any questions at all. Some I might not answer, and some the answers are worth what you cost, what they pay. Sometimes the answers are worth what they cost. They're free anyway. There's no stupid questions, only stupid answers, and they come from me. So I invite you to be sure and participate. Check out my website at terrabowling.com. Support the channel over at Amazon on my Amazon store, where you pay the same price, but I get a very small commission, and every little bit helps. There's links to all of that in the description below, as well as my social media and all that. So there's your commercial for the night. Now we'll get back to the content. Campgoer 1 says, we camped in my 2015 Prius V and had two 6-inch foam mattresses. It was great. Nikki Delventhal, I think. Nikki Delventhal. She is currently a car dweller and living and traveling about the country in her Toyota Prius with a dog. And I watch her channel occasionally. But yeah, she seems to be making it work in a Toyota Prius full time. I think that would take a lot of dedication. I like my stuff too much. I don't know if I could do it in a Prius. Oh, hey, Tim Myers, that's a good one. And I don't know if Rich is still in there, but Rich, we need to add a good grill. You're going to want some kind of a barbecue grill. I'm going to put that on my note here. So I don't forget. All right, let's go over and talk real quick about Elaine Garcia's question that came in. And let's see here. We'll pop over here so you can kind of see and follow along with me. Get this over here so you're not seeing triple. So Elaine writes back and says, replacing the rectifier diode in the control box solved my battery draining issue on the Onan generator. Thank goodness for online documentation. I would totally agree. However, and as she's finding now, you can't find documentation for everything, but boy, you can sure find a lot if you just spend a few minutes Googling. But this one is kind of outside of my realm of experience, but I'm hoping that one of the guys or gals that's on the chat tonight might have had some experience with this particular issue. And that is, she has an old Atwood hydroflame furnace she's trying to see if she can get running. Of all the documentation she's been able to find online, none references the model she has, and all the repair and service manuals seem to cover 79 and 80 models, 85 and beyond, but none of those exploded diagrams match what she has, which is not uncommon. One of the forums I signed up for had a resident expert who did a great furnace troubleshooting document, and he posted a link to an old service manual where I found my model, which is a DC82. They replaced the DSI board with the universal one from Dinosaur Electronics, which solved a no spark at the igniter. One cycle worked properly, then nothing. But after replacing the old Scotch locks with wire nuts, we're back in business. Fan works, timer, spark electrode, etc., etc. Everything works up to the gas valve. It gets to 12 volts, but it doesn't seem to open. I found it at PDX RV Wholesale website, has a listing of the available parts, and it lists the White Rogers gas valve as being a replacement part, but a note indicates that the DC82 came with two different gas valve configurations that are not interchangeable. And apparently she has the version with the newer valve. Isn't that always the way it works? Isn't that always the way it works? So she's having a hard time finding the documentation. Now, I always defer when it comes to gas appliances to letting the experts work on them. They can cause a lot of damage if they're not worked on properly or repaired correctly. So that's my first gut feeling on it. The second thing is switching those gas valves. I don't know what the difference is. I would have to go, and it looks like she gave me some information here on the gas valve and stuff, and so I'm going to go ahead and go research that for you, Elaine, and see what I can figure out. But and I would agree with you. She goes on in the email to talk about she would rather replace a repair than replace, and I totally get that. As much as it's practical, I try to repair equipment. New furnace is fairly expensive, and unless you're doing a lot of winter camping or shoulder season camping, camping in the fall or the spring when it's chilly out, you can generally get by without a furnace. I would rarely run my furnace wintering in Tucson. Occasionally I would run it if the outside temperature got below about 40, because my rig, the ACs are also heat pumps, so you can turn them on to provide heat, and that was really nice. So I could get heat off my AC units, well, they're heat pumps, so just like a heat pump in your home, really. But I totally get it, and so here's what I will do, Elaine, is I will dig into that and see what I can figure out and see what we can help for you. See if we can find the stuff that you need. Or I also have a couple of buddies that do some RV repair, and I will reach out to them and see what they know. She says she's restoring 1985 Coachman Classic 24. So that kind of helps us understand what she's up to, and I think that restoring anything is amazing, which is why I would like to find a camper shell or not a camper shell, but a sliding camper or something similar that I could rehab, because I do really enjoy that kind of work myself. All right, let's get back over here to the chat window. Don't forget, if you have a question, throw it over there in the chat window. I'm happy to try to answer it for you. Prius saved me money. Yeah, I bet it did, Linda. Yep, that's a good one too, and that's a reminder. In fact, Tim had a good point there. I don't know if Rich is still on. It's the middle of the night over there. He might have passed out and went to sleep. But an air hose and some chucks is great, and it does have the built-in air up system, and I use it all the time. I use it to air up inflatables, all that kind of stuff. You buy one of those air hoses from Harbor Freight, and you get one of their air kits that has the sprayer and the chucks and everything, and you're into it for $12 or $15, $20, and you're good to go. So that's a good one. Thanks, Tim. Good reminder. Drift Fox. Hey, Drift Fox. Great to have you in. So he says, question. I've been using my heat pump more and more. After the blower fan turns off, I can still hear noise outside from the AC heat pump for a few more minutes. Is this normal? Yes, it is. So what's happening is that when you're running in the heat pump, it reverses the system. Keep that in mind. So instead of dumping heat outside, it drags heat in from outside to the inside. And they like to run those systems a little bit to make sure they're not freezing up. Okay? You'll probably notice, and this is when you start to run the heat pump, and if during the cycle it'll shut off and the compressor will sit there and run for a little while, and then it might turn back on without just turning completely off, then that's when you know it's probably time to go over to an alternative source of heat. Because what's happening is that the heat pump isn't getting enough heat from outside. The internal parts of the AC could freeze, okay? And so that's why that heat pump keeps running afterwards, is to drag in a little more heat from outside, send it through the coils, and make sure they're not getting frozen up or frosty. Tom Downey reports, we've been talking about Tom and his sewer hose, and he says he saves his gray water for 3 days, and then dump the black tank, then flush with the gray tank. Absolutely correct. Yes, you should always dump your black tank first, and then dump your gray tank and use the flush water and use it as flush water for your hose. So that's absolutely correct. Okay, let's see here. Okay, carpet leaves and ice smell. Can use a sound barrier plastic that goes under the floating floor, then linoleum and a rubber mat on top, and throw rugs. Yeah, absolutely true, Linda. Icky smell. Yeah, they can be really smelly, that's for sure. Yeah, and that's a good one too, Tim. Don't forget to remove the filter at the sink if you have one. I have a whole Coach filter. If you were watching really closely when I showed you under the sink in the 2007 Ventana, that had an undersink filter. And yeah, you would definitely want to pull that out of the system for winter, because they will freeze. And if you run antifreeze through them, they're done. You wouldn't want to use it again anyway. Okay, so okay, let's see here. Yeah. Okay, Roundtown Scouter. Because of uneven ground, I have used a section ring gutter to cut to fit my rig. Use cribbing to adjust the slope. That's really common too. There's a lot of guys in the RV park that would leave their rigs. You know, they would just come to the rig and then leave it there all winter, all spring, summer, fall. And a lot of them use the a chunk of the ring gutter to support their hoses, their sewer hose. And that works really good as well. It's a little harder to transport that. If you're static, that works pretty good. Transporting it would be kind of a pain in the butt, because you got a 6 or an 8 foot section of gutter, 2 or 3 of those. You got to get them in the basement somehow, or put them somewhere. I guess you could put them on top. But yep, that's good. As Mick the Dog says, anyone have any experience with a swivel wheel golf cart motorcycle hauler? No, I've seen them. I've seen them down the road, but I don't have any firsthand experience. Does anybody in the chat have experience with those this evening? Throw a comment over there. Jim Bertrand says, yeah, Dan and Janvetta are done. Yeah, I didn't watch the video yet, but I did see they posted one that said they were retiring from YouTube. Frankly, I'm not surprised. Good people. And yeah, I just think I think they have a problem with anonymity and people tracking them down. I don't know if I've had that problem. Having been in radio forever, I am a little bit more cagey with respect to location and that sort of stuff. Now, honestly, let's be honest with ourselves. If you wanted to find out where I live, you could. It's not that hard. I don't know why you would want to. I'm kind of a curmudgeon, old, crusty guy that would probably bark at you if you came to the front door. No, I'm kidding. But I don't get that. I know it happens. You know, I know that security and safety in today's world is something you definitely need to keep in mind if you're any kind of a public figure. You just never know when you're going to piss someone off and they're going to come try to kill you. I mean, that's the world we live in. It sucks. But that's just the way it is. Some things will never change. Thank you, Bruce Hornsby. Yeah, the Jim Bertrand says the 2007 Cummins is good. No def. Absolutely. No def in that rig. And that is a plus. None of that regen noise. No def head failures. If you follow any of the forums, the newer rigs are losing the def head left and right. And it's just thrown a wrench into a lot of people's plans. Okay, let's see here. Mary says Dave is his name. Dave is Mrs. Mary, Mr. Mary. He can't hold the phone to capture Mrs. Mary. Okay. Tape it to his cane. Yeah, the asking price is $65, and we're negotiable, right? But yeah, the asking price is $65. The going price online, from what I could see on RV Trader, was around $79. So we're taking into account the need for, you know, maintenance items and stuff like that, and trying to make it fair. So yeah, $65, and of course, you know, we're negotiable. Oh, Ron Brunge is in. Hey, Ron, great to have you in. Say hi to Terry for me for sure. He said they made it back to Mescal and trying to get settled in for winter. They might go over to Quartzsite for a month. Awesome. Yeah, that's I might, if things work out, I might try to get down to Quartzsite. Well, what I'd really like to do, you know, in the perfect world, is I'd like to go down to Tucson, hit the Gem and Mineral show, which is just a blast, and then maybe slip over to Quartzsite, spend a week or two over there. I know lots of folks that usually winter down there, and I could go visit a lot of people that would be really fun to catch up with. And you know, so if it works out, I might make it down there. Ron, I might come over and park in your driveway for a couple days in my truck and camper. Campgoer 1 says, I'd like to save on gas using my mid-size pickup and build a lightweight trailer. Yeah, I hear you. You know, gas is knocking on $4 a gallon. Mick the Dog asks, TR, is the reason you're going truck and trailer is so you can set up, then use the truck to see the area? That does seem optimum over towing a toad. Yes, that's a part of it. Mostly, Mick, my motivation for downsizing was, well, obviously the life changes, you know. Eventually my brother will be coming to live with me. I needed sticks and bricks to take care of that. I want to do more excursion type camping. So, I want to go out for a week or two or three or four, uh, be able to get into some more remote areas. Okay, you know, there's a lot of places you can't take a 40-foot Class A, period. Now, the 40-foot Class A with the Toad, yeah, that was really nice. But I just would like to be able to pull in, and I know so many great spots where I could get into with a pickup with a camper shell or a pickup with a small trailer, and spend 2 or 3 days fishing, hiking, doing photography, all those sorts of things. And so that was most of my motivation, is to get a smaller rig that I could take into more remote locations, but still be somewhat comfortable, have a real bed. I'm not so. I can go for a while without a shower. I mean, there's wet wipes and stuff like that. I'm around myself, so when I start to smell myself, I go get a shower. Of course, if I'm visiting people, I would shower, but anyway. So that's a lot of what motivated me to go smaller, Tim. Or excuse me, Mick. Mick the dog says, yeah, I have a Class A gasser. That bug hum I thought was for the engine. Nope, it's for the fuel line. Oh. Big hump. I'm sorry, but every once in a while when I scroll the chat window, it jumps to the bottom, and then I have to go back up and find out where I was. Sorry about that. It takes me a second sometimes to do that. That's what it does take the wheels a while to grind, but yeah. Okay. Wool blankets, yeah, but can't go. Mary. Mary Stankiewicz says she's from Fort Wayne, lived on the Auburn Road when it was country. Now it's a city highway. Interesting, Mary. Echo in the Forest. Hello, hello, hello. Wool blankets waste for insulation in our schoolie. It's cheap and best. Yeah, the wool insulation is becoming quite popular. I'm a build nerd, okay, and I watch a lot of builds, a lot of rehabs. I really like rehab videos and bus builds. There's several bus builders that I really like to watch. CNS Schoolie, who watches the channel really fairly frequently. B&E Adventure Partners both have YouTube channels you can go check out. Their B&E are Brian and Aaron, and they're just finishing up building a bus out. That's just a beautiful bus. They've just done amazing work on it. I've been watching. I like to watch I have always said I had a land yacht, but I like to watch some of the sailors. And I stumbled across a video because I was looking for some Victron information, and I stumbled across a video. Expedition Evans. Yeah, Expedition Evans, a young couple that bought a wrecked 49-foot sailboat and basically fixed it. And it was an extensive fix. And so I've been watching that and enjoying that channel quite a bit here lately. Echo in the Forest. Do you have a YouTube channel? I would love to check you guys out. I'll have to check that out and see if you guys have a channel. That would be great. Camp Goer 1 says 48 mile per gallon riding behind a semi draft pull. Yeah. Echo in the Forest, like a sweater for the RV. Yeah, exactly. That wool insulation, like a sweater for the RV. And I think wool is naturally mold and mildew resistant. And it doesn't get wet. Well, it will get wet, but it doesn't get wet and cause problems like fiberglass insulation. So, yeah, that's a good call. That wool insulation, I think, is getting really popular. I also saw somebody that did a bus recently that they used denim, shredded and recycled denim as insulation. I thought that was kind of interesting, too. John Besmick, yes, 12 and 120 volt testers, Yeah, Rich is bringing a multimeter with him from Germany. That's one of the tools he's going to bring. Oh, Rich's next question. He says, "Is there a Harbor Freight near me?" Yes, it's yes. There's one right here in town. Bob Davis says, "Thanks for the advice on the main battery cutoff. Got done between rain showers today. 2 Group 27 batteries, new boxes, and heavy duty tie downs. Awesome. Thanks, Bob. I'm glad it worked out for you." Campgoer 1 is responding to Echo. She says she uses a cloth shower curtain with sewed on wool material as a liner to keep the draft from the coach. Well, that's a good call. Is that like a curtain, Linda, that you hang up? That sounds interesting. Jim Bertrand says, "Are RV AC units serviceable? I know routine maintenance is necessary, but they really don't blow cold in summer. Should you just replace the unit?" Yes. You cannot service them. You can. All right. From the factory, they are sealed units. There is no way to recharge them. I have seen several videos online about guys that go in and cut in fittings to service them. I would have thought that if that was a good idea, that the AC manufacturer, mostly Dometic, would have done that. Now, on the other hand, maybe they didn't do it to force you to buy a new unit when they do fail. But they are not serviceable in the strictest sense, but you might find an HVAC guy that would be willing to cut in and put the service stuff in and then recharge it. You might find, though, Jim, that if you got up and serviced it, blow out the coils really good and all of that it might start getting colder for you. But yeah, unfortunately, they are not out of the factory serviceable. Two Feathers, go Braves! Yeah, go Braves. I'm with you. Tom Downey says, "Always upgrade the water filters. Best one available." Yes, I have the 2-stage water filter. I have has the particulate filter and the carbon filter. In fact, Richard, we ought to get you a set of those as a spare and some replacements because I took them out when I winterized. So we need to get filters on your list. And I'll put the part number on. I'll get you the part number so you can get it. By the way, as an afterthought here, over on my Amazon store, I do have a new storefront set up called Refit the RV. And so if you want to see what we're going to be getting for the RV, I'm building a list over there on Amazon. If you'd like to follow along, you can sure do that. But yeah, I totally agree with you, Tom. Always upgrade the water filters. You know, Rich is getting a bonus because he's getting a soft water, a water softener as well, that I bought with my rig. And that was really a good, that was really a good upgrade. I really enjoyed it. Echo in the Forest responds to Camp Goer 1. Oh, that's a brilliant idea. Thanks. She's going to be coppering that idea. Camp Goer 1 says she found the collapsible hose holder accordion here at Goodwill, still in the box. Yeah, I used to hit the Goodwills really regularly too, and especially down there in Arizona, where you get a lot of RV'ers and snowbirds and stuff. You'll find a lot of used RV stuff in the Goodwills down there. That's a good place to go crawling around and looking for stuff for sure. Drift Fox, you're very welcome. He says, "Thanks. I figured this was probably normal, but wanted to ask." Yes, it is totally normal. Tom Downey says, "Track me? Sure, we need the company." That's pretty funny. Okay, sorry, it jumped on me again. And oh wait, we're really flying tonight. 8:05. We'll go for a few more minutes. Plenty of questions to get to. Plenty of comments. Oh, there you go. Camp Goer 1 says you can sew to Reflectix 2 for Windows. Yeah, I was thinking about doing some custom covers for my rig with Reflectix and some fabric, but I just stuffed it in the window. In fact, I'm actually working on a video. It probably won't release till springtime because it doesn't make sense to put out a video on how to keep cool in the Arizona heat in the middle of winter. But I'm working on that video. Been pulling together clips and stuff on that for a week or so now as well. But it takes time, It takes time to pull and get a video together. It takes about an hour per minute of editing time. So, like the RV fridge replacement video that published on Sunday night, which of course was a remix. I hope everybody's had a chance to go check it out. But if you haven't, you can go over and watch it on the channel. But that video was 22 minutes, but I probably had 40 hours of editing time in that video. So when you do a real quick down and dirty like the tour video, there's probably maybe 3 hours in that for a 7 or 8 minute video. But you start doing how-to videos, it takes a lot longer to edit those. Campgoer says she's going to insulate her garage doors and her around the walls underside the coach too. Yep, that's a good call. Insulating those basement doors, garage doors, whatever you want to call them, that's a really good idea. That will help save a lot of heat. Gary Reed. Hi, Gary. He says a diesel heater is the best. Better than propane furnace and doesn't take much juice. Good for -40. Yeah, that I've watched a few videos because, like I say, I've been doing research on refitting or refurbishing, sliding camper, and one of those little diesel heaters kind of has my interest as a potential to replace a furnace if I need to. The problem with it is that, and I totally think they're great, but if you already have propane, and it already makes sense to just get a propane, because having to carry multiple fuels around is a pain in the rear. So you got to carry diesel for your diesel heater, you got to have propane for your cooking, and then probably gas for your vehicle, maybe diesel. But yeah, I think the diesel heaters are great. And I'm considering one is as an alternative to a propane furnace, depending upon the camper shell that I get. But yeah, I might agree with you, Gary. I think those diesel heaters are pretty good. Campgoer One says, if I come to Quartzsite, holler, I love the Gem Show. I will. You take your RV to Quartzsite, Campgoer One. Okay. Echo in the Forest, is Quartzsite the area that costs $140 for November through April? Yes. It's the long-term vehicle area, LTVA, I think is what they call it down there. And there's a couple of sections, but yeah, I think it's $140. Linda, check me on that. Do you remember, or do you know, did that change for this year? But 140 sounds about right. It might have gone up to 180. I think maybe I read that. But that's still really, really cheap when it comes right down to it. Now, there's plenty of area around Quartzsite where you don't have to be in the LTVA and not pay anything. But the LTVA, the fees that they do collect go into the dump station maintenance and the garbage maintenance and those sorts of things, which are services they provide in those areas. Campgoer One says, not having a tow vehicle to get around is a bummer. My rig is 27 feet too long for me to tow my Prius. Yeah, unfortunately. Ron says, I'm welcome to stay there anytime. Thanks, bud. I appreciate that. And yeah, I might come down and spend a couple days there in your driveway. That would be fun to catch up and see what's been going on. Yeah, okay, so Linda did confirm that the LTVA is something like 140. It's not a lot, But it's a good down there. Echo in the Forest, howdy. Okay, hi. Nice to have you in. Sure is nice. Uh, Campbell one, Gary Reed. She says propane is nauseous. The others have a bad odor. Yeah, actually the diesel heaters don't smell. You don't smell them inside. But of course, you're dealing with diesel fuel, which already has some people have, find it offensive. Um, but yeah, I think the diesel heaters, in the right application, I think they're perfect. Aaron Jameson, hi Aaron. Did you make it to Texas? Nice to have you in. Tom Walbrin, hi Tom. Have I thought of going to Cerro Gordo Ghost Town? Brent, the new owner, is cool. It is hard to get to 8 miles of dirt and winding roads and approximately 7,000 feet elevation change. Yes, Tom, he has. Isn't he the guy that's doing I Bought a Ghost Town, a series on YouTube? I'll have to look into that. I watched a video of his. Oh gosh, this has been maybe 8 or 10 months ago, and I don't remember all the details. But yeah, I think there's a guy on YouTube that has something like I Bought a Ghost Town or something like that. I don't remember if it's that Cerro Gordo, but yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so Echo in the Forest. Camp goers. Okay, back and forth. I don't oftentimes read the interactive chats between folks. If you want to follow along, you can go over to the chat window and expand it. If it's not expanded, that way you'll see the chat. So a lot of times when there's chatter going on between viewers, that seems to be specific to the viewers. I oftentimes don't review those comments. So, but just to let you know, it's not that I don't find them interesting. I do, and I think that yeah. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Okay, so I'll go back and sorry, I'm scanning ahead, and I got jumped on again here real quick. So the wool doesn't hold moisture, from what I know. Yeah, I believe that's right. Can't wear one. Echo in the Forest says we found the wool blanket waste online. Got pure wool for $1 a pound. Very good price versus locking wool blocks. Yeah, that pure wool, are you just putting it in the bays and putting up some kind of a mesh to hold it in there? That would be interesting to know. There you go. Camp Goer again scores at Goodwill for 2 huge wool blankets. They have a 15%, or they offer 10% discount on Wednesdays for seniors. Wink. Ron Bunge. Had our motorhome propane tank connection come loose on our bumpy road like it did out west this summer. Thinking of replacing the solid connection between the tank and regulator with a rubber hose so to absorb the vibrations. I would do not a rubber hose. I would do a stainless steel braided hose. Okay? Yeah, use a braided hose, not a rubber hose. But yeah, that should be fine. But I'm surprised that bounced loose. That's really weird. And that would be a real drag to have your propane come loose. Yeah, that would suck for sure. But yeah, I would not. The solid connection, I think, if I was going to do anything, I would replace it with a braided hose, so that it's a little tougher than just a piece of rubber hose. Tom Downey, okay, so be certain the front hubs are serviced properly. Correct, yep. Camp Gora 1 says she's the Goodwill thrift queen. Yeah, the thing about being in Phoenix is you got a lot of Goodwills. There's only one here. Goodwill or Echo in the Forest asks, how hard is it to hang laundry in boondocks? Is it allowed? Of course. About the only time you're going to find a place where they won't let you hang up your laundry is in some RV parks. Um, it's hit or miss. I've never found that laundry hanging. If it was just, I mean, if it's out there for 3 days, that's a different story. But in the boondocks, anything goes. Just be courteous, okay? Be kind and courteous. If you're dry camping or in the boondocks or whatever, do unto others as you would have done unto yourself, okay? Live the golden rule. Don't be a jerk. Don't play your stereo really loud at 10 o'clock. Don't run your generator all night. Do the things that that wouldn't, I mean, it's just common sense, it seems like. I got a perfect example. It was 3 years ago. I was headed back to my dad's in Arkansas in my RV. My usual run was Tucson to Santa Rosa, New Mexico. There's a great spot right there in Santa Rosa, just off the interstate. You can just pull over and park. It's not a Walmart. It's not like that. It's just an old gas station. Semis park there all the time. You might have to park with the semis, which I don't mind. But, yeah. Well, somebody pulls in this motorhome, and it was slightly after dark. The first thing they do is come in and they start the generator and they turn on their outside floodlights. And I didn't think anything of it. Okay, they need to charge their batteries. They want to cook dinner, watch TV. Well, at 10 o'clock I go to bed. It's still running. At 11 o'clock it's still running. And I'm going, where's this light coming from? Well, one of their outside security lights was shining right in my bedroom window. And I didn't want to go over and knock on their door, although I thought about it. So I replaced all my exterior lights, which are normal like 12 watts, with 50-watt bulbs. And they are bright as the sun. And so I just got up and walked over and flipped my lights on this side of the RV they were on. And they got the hint and went and turned their damn lights off. But they ran their generator all night long. Don't do that. That's just rude. Don't run your generator all night long. Okay? Do unto others. Be kind. You're going to do just fine boondocking. Okay, so let's see here. Campgoer1 says, need to learn to edit. Yeah, there's lots of tutorials out there as far as learning how to edit videos. If you're going to do Adobe, the guy's name is ChinFat. He's the one that I learned the most from. And then also Jason Levine, who is an Adobe guy. He's the worldwide evangelist for the Adobe Premiere and some of that stuff. And he has tons of how-to videos on his channel to edit with Adobe Premiere Pro, which is what I use. And they all work about the same. The concepts are all about the same. So if you learn the general concept of how to cut and edit and put things together, you're going to be able to move that from one software package to another because the basic idea behind it is the same. We could talk about YouTube and editing and doing that kind of stuff. We could do that in the future at some point if people would like. I could sit down and spend a few minutes and show you how the insides of putting together a video. That would be fun. Aaron can attest to it. Once you kind of get the hang of it, it's not tough at all. Most of the hard part is getting it to go together and being happy with it. Okay, let's see. Catching up here. Have I ever replaced resin beads in a water softener? Yes. And it's not that difficult. It makes a mess, but it's not that difficult. What I ended up doing is that to get them all out, I ended up taking the resin tank outside with a 35-gallon garbage can and getting it rigged up and sitting on a table and blah, 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 and running a water hose in there and flushing the beads out. But yeah, it wasn't difficult. Oh, Echo in the Forest. Sorry, I missed your comment. I can't edit. Have a phone only. ATM. Just upload to save space on the phone for more memories. Got it. Yeah. No worries. At some point, if you do a YouTube channel, come back and let us know because folks here would be interested, and they'll probably come over and join your channel. Tom Downey says lots of boats have diesel heaters. Yes, and the main reason is that a lot of boats have diesel engines, bigger boats, and so you already have a source of diesel on the outfit, and so you're not having to carry an extra fuel. That's about the only downfall if you're going to go with a diesel heater and you don't have a diesel fuel source, is to have to carry an extra fuel. Oh, Camp Goer once, she says she found a mechanic who helped her pull out the old fridge. Excellent. 160 to 180 pounds. Yeah, that sounds about right. She says we built a pantry and I put in a little 3-way fridge. Excellent, excellent. Yeah, that sounds like a really good deal. Gary Reed says you can get those diesel heaters that run on propane as well, or gas. That's true. I'm absolutely. Linda says she used extra floating floor for walls and shelves. Glued down, looks nice. Excellent. Echo in the Forest says on our way in a few weeks, finishing the land yacht. Minimum finished. Yeah, I gotcha. Just enough to get it by while you can still live in it and still work on finishing it. Tim Meyer says, I love the smell of diesel fuel in the morning. Smells like victory. Tom Walbren. Oh, yes, it is Ghost Town Living. Okay, thanks, Tom. Yeah, I did actually watch a couple of his videos, but it's been last spring. I'll have to go back and check that out. Okay, Aaron. Yeah, I'll be here. You got my number, I believe. Okay, good. Yeah, Linda says Linda does do some video. Has a YouTube channel, so go over and check out Camp Goer 1 on YouTube, as well as Aaron Jameson. He has Lost Tales RV and on YouTube, and yeah, and he's been a great moderator for me for the whole time that I've been doing the lives. So thanks, Aaron. Tuesday is Senior Day, is it? I thought it was Wednesday. Okay, maybe it's Wednesday here. Okay, there you go. So she found the leak. Linda's been fighting a leak in the fuel neck of her RV, and then she put braided hose in to replace that. So, yep, that's good. Two Feathers says, I keep earplugs handy for my annoying neighbors who can't do without their generators. My first choice is to move. Totally agree. Aaron Jamison uses Filmora to edit videos. There's a good one. There's many editing programs out there. I had other needs for Premiere or for the Adobe suite, mostly for Lightroom and Photoshop for my photography stuff. And so it was actually cheaper to go ahead and just buy the full boat from Adobe. And I use a lot of the stuff from Adobe that I have access to. Premiere Pro, Media Encoder, Lightroom, Photoshop, Adobe Audition. Yeah, I use quite a few of their things. Okay, Ron, you got it. I'll put something together, and maybe we'll do a quick one here in a couple weeks on the live stream. I'll take a few minutes and show you how to cut together a little bit of video. Again, it's pretty straightforward. Just takes practice, like everything. Okay, we're coming up on 8:30, so we're going to make that last run through the chat. If I missed your question, I apologize. Like I mentioned, every once in a while, I'll scroll the chat window and it'll jump to the bottom, and then I have to go back and try to find my way to the top, and it's a pain. So real quick question, yeah, hit that thumbs up if you like the content. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Ring the notification bell to be notified when new videos go up. I do have a video coming up Sunday night. It's the inside tour of Rusty the RV. Now that it's all cleaned out, I got all my stuff out of it and got it moved over and put in storage. And so it's just a quick little 7-minute inside tour video will be this Sunday. And then, yeah, I'm trying to do one on Sunday nights. I might not make next Sunday. I've got some things going on the rest of the week and into next week that are eating up some of my time that I would usually spend editing. But I might try to get one out. We'll see. Jim Bertrand, yeah, exactly. Install a DC to DC charger to charge the house batteries while driving and eliminate running the Jenny all night. Yeah, I don't know. You know, I'm not going to get there. I'm not going there. I could really rail off on that kind of stuff. Just bugs the crap out of me. You know, like you're out boondocking. Okay, I'm gonna go there for just a minute. You're out boondocking. You're supposed to be out enjoying the great outdoors and the beautiful country and all that stuff. But you got to run your damn generator so you can have your TV and your curling iron and your whatever. You know, I haven't got it. And then you run it all damn night long. And it's not a quiet generator. It's one of those noisy champions that are 200 decibels 60 feet away. All right, I'm done. I'll get off my soapbox. Good night, Gracie. Good night, Tim. Thanks for coming. Bob Davis reports diesel in Eureka's $5.15 a gallon. Just rolled $4 here. Just topped $4 here in the last couple days in Idaho. Camp Gorer 1 says, my first time RV dump video is a hoot. Even made me laugh. Okay, I'll have to go check that out. Oh, okay. Got you, Ron. Yeah, Ron says, very old software, but still works great. It's great for websites, not video. Yeah, totally got it. Good night, Tom. See ya. Thanks, John. Great to have you in. Camp Goer 1, Linda, thank you so much. Always great to have you in. Tom Walbrin, another great show. Thank you. No, thank you, Tom, for participating and coming in. Round Town Scouter, thank you so much. Great to have you in there from Ohio. And I'm happy to help. Echo in the Forest says they do have a YouTube channel. We just stuffed the wool scraps into 2-inch space all around with Mylar blanket liners. Interesting. Okay, so we'll run over there and check out your YouTube channel. Invite everybody else that's on the stream to go over and check out Echo in the Forest YouTube channel. Tell them TR sent you. Two Feathers, thank you so much for your very gracious and super chat. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. Camp Goer 1 says, I build a Jenny box. Yeah. Thanks, Aaron. Oh, there you go. Round Town Scatter. Also need to run your CPAC and O2 concentrator. Rusty is going to be in great hands. Richard has been in there. Good night, literally, to you, Richard. I should say good morning. He's going to be Rusty's new keeper, him and his wife. And look forward to working with them over the next couple months. We'll get to meet them when they come to pick up the rig. And that sounds like it'll probably be in the May-June time frame. Drift Fox, thank you so much. Awesome to have you in. Bob Davis, thank you. Aaron, thanks to you. Richard, good night. We'll see you soon. Thanks, Jim. Echo in the Forest, Lola Ranch. Lola, great to have you in. And Echo in the Forest. Thanks, everybody. So thanks a lot. We're going to call her good for tonight. As always, if you like what you saw, give me that thumbs up. Appreciate that. Visit my website, trbolin.com. Support us on Amazon. The link's in the description below. And we'll see you next Tuesday night for another live stream. Until then, peace. Good night.